I don't know about you, but dating in this day and age sometimes feels like navigating a minefield, blindfolded, while someone is live reading your every move. Luckily, there are some books out there that do make sense of dating and love and romance in general. And today I've chosen 4 books that I think are really essential reading. And whether you're single, in a relationship, in a situationship, or just thinking about life, then I think these books will give you something to think about. I'm Triya and I make videos about books, London and life. Let's get into it. So the first book I want to talk about is called The Selfish Romantic by Elman. This is a book about unlearning the idea that your love life is a test that you need to pass. In this book, the author shows how putting yourself first in dating isn't selfish. It's actually the key to finding healthy, fulfilling relationships. 2 key takeaways from this book. Number 1 is that the idea that we need to be chosen is flawed. Dating isn't about proving your worth. It's more about assessing whether someone is right for you. And number 2 is that for everyone, emotional unavailability should be a deal breaker. This book delves into some very well-established dating philosophies that you'll see all over Instagram and TikTok, and it tackles these stereotypes that are so pervasive in today's dating world and today's society. Some examples are ghosting and the phrase, if you wanted to, you would. If you've ever bent over backwards for someone who's given you the bare minimum energy, this book is your wake-up call. And the reason why I really like this book personally is because I like how the author gives these real-life examples of how to set good boundaries and establish good communication habits when texting people or messaging with them on a dating app, for example. She even has these text templates that you can modify and use when you're communicating with people. For example, when you're doing the mature thing and telling someone when you're no longer interested in seeing them, rather than doing the thing which everyone does these days, which is just ghost. So the next book I want to talk about is called The Dating Divide. This is a really interesting book and a must read, to be honest, for anyone who is a person of colour. This is a book about how race influenced dating, especially in the age of dating apps. If you're a person of colour, for example, and you've ever wondered why your dating app experience doesn't quite match up to that of your friends, or why certain people get so many more matches than others, this book gives you a great perspective and something to think about. It explores how swiping culture has turned attraction into an algorithm, reinforcing racial biases in a way that people don't even realize. The authors looked at real-life data from dating apps. They interviewed hundreds of people, and they showed that online dating isn't just about personal preference, which most people think it is, but it's actually shaped by these deep-rooted racial biases. For example, here are some interesting statistics from the book. Out of all the racial groups, white men are the most desired group, whereas black men and women are the most excluded. And now this book looks at data from the United States, so you have to take that into consideration when you're extrapolating to other countries. And racialized dating is a sometimes uncomfortable and definitely controversial topic, but it's so important to talk about, especially these days, because it's becoming easier to filter out people by race on dating apps, for example. And sometimes you don't even realize that's what's happening. 2 key takeaways from this book. Number 1, online dating as it is today reinforces racial stereotypes. And the evidence shows that people of colour, especially Asian men and black women, are disproportionately ignored on dating apps. And number 2, preference is often a socially conditioned bias. If you think, for example, that you're just not attracted to a certain race, maybe ask yourself, why is that? And it's definitely a book that will make you change the way that you see online dating forever. So why should you read it? Because dating, love, and attraction is political, and this book shows it. Okay, so the next book I want to talk about is called The Right to Sex by Amia Srinivasan. This book ties in really nicely with the one before, because this book is about how sex, attraction, and desire aren't just about personal choices. They are deeply shaped by politics, history, and power. In this book, the author tackles the tough questions, such as who is seen as desirable, who gets left out, and what does it mean when people demand a right to sex. So Amia Srinivasan, the author of this book, is a professor at Oxford. I really like this book because it gives a balanced opinion on not just dating, but things like pornography, sexual assault, and the patriarchy. So this book is a collection of essays, and one of the most talked about essays in the book is the one about incels, a term which generally describes men who feel like they are entitled to sex but can't get it. And in this essay, Srinivasan digs into the issues that create these resentments. Another essay questions the way we frame consent, asking if simply saying yes is enough when there are huge power imbalances at play. What's refreshing about this book is that it doesn't try to give these neat, easy answers. Instead, it forces you to think deeply around the topic about how we as a society talk about sex, who gets to have it, and why some people are excluded or harmed in the process. If you're interested in modern feminism, dating, or you just want to read a book that challenges the way you think about things, then I would give this book a try. 2 key takeaways. Number 1, we need to be critical of who we are attracted to and why? Are your preferences really personal, or are they shaped by things like racism, fat phobia, and the media? Number 2, incels aren't just lonely men on the internet. They can be potentially very dangerous, and they are a symptom of a bigger cultural issue where sex is treated as something that men deserve and women owe. So yeah, this book definitely will make you think. The next book I want to talk about is a really good book, and in comparison, a much more light-hearted read that is more about self-help and fixing your own dating life than the others have been. So this is How Not to Die Alone by Logan Ury. So this is a book about why modern dating can be so frustrating, and it's sometimes about how our own dating habits make things worse. Logan Ury is a behavioral scientist, and in this book she breaks down why we sometimes get in our own way when it comes to finding love, and how to rethink what we actually want in a partner. 2 key takeaways from this book. 1, attraction isn't just about instant chemistry or about those butterflies that you get. It's about something that grows. And number 2, this is a point that Logan Ury really drives into in the book, is that the spark is a myth. So she argues that people who prioritize long-term compatibility over that rom-com butterflies in your stomach feeling actually end up in happier relationships. One of the many interesting things in the book is that she goes in to help you categorize people's general dating tendencies. She talks about the 3 main types of daters, and she helps you to figure out which one you are. The 3 ones featured in her book are the romanticizer, the maximizer, and the hesitator. The romanticizer believes in the concept of a soulmate and expects love to happen effortlessly. They often think that they're single because they haven't met the one yet. The maximizer is the type of person who strives to explore every possible option, seeking the best possible partner. They invest significant time in research and comparisons, aiming for perfection. And the hesitator is someone who feels that they're not ready to date because they haven't achieved certain personal milestones or self-improvements. They believe that they must be fully prepared before pursuing a relationship. In this book, she talks about how understanding your own dating tendencies is really important, as it sheds a light on the unrealistic expectations that you might have about yourself and your dating life and potential partners. By recognizing and addressing these patterns, you can adopt a more balanced and effective approach to dating and finding a partner, if that's what you're looking for. If you've ever ended things with someone because they just weren't your type, then read this book and it will make you rethink everything. Dating is hard enough without all these things like society and patriarchy weighing down on you, but reading these books helps to navigate the chaos a bit. Have you read any of these books? Have any of these books actually changed the way you date? Let me know, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks.